what would be sort of like a lesson that you've learned along the way about early team building and some things that you wished you had doubled down on or maybe chosen an alternative path?
I think defining kind of the mode of operating, the rules, the cultural components of any team is the most important thing to do out the gate, because it does set a level of expectation of how you're going to operate. And without it, I think you leave a lot of room for misunderstanding and tension to exist. And tension just completely removes possibility for success, because it's just constant anxiety and frustration and negativity. And it's really hard to want to stay in that environment. So I'd say that first and foremost. Secondly, I'd say, man, everybody's got something they're really good at. And don't put them in a box. I think we oftentimes label people by title or experience or by results. And we're like, well, they're only capable of that one thing, because whatever filter we've put on our view of them, or whatever the label is we've placed, only lets us see that as their possibility and potential. And man, I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of times I've seen somebody that we thought was really bad at this thing over here. And when we sought to understand their real capabilities and possibility, we moved them over to a different responsibility, and they just set records, you know? And I think that seeking to understand those people on your team and where they're good, and letting them use those strengths while you're developing the gaps, allows a team to move much farther, much faster. And I'd say that the most important thing I'd say of all of it, though, would have to be, give your people permission to push back, change the way you think, lead you, speak back to you respectfully, both directions, but speak back to you, call you out when you're full of crap. Because man, nothing's worse than somebody who's in a position of given power and puts themselves in an isolated tower to not be made aware of how they are operating and helping, or not helping other people feel the way they deserve to feel about their work and their output and their life. And unfortunately, in many cases, those leaders, only people who have the experience close enough to really call them out, are the ones they have not given permission to call them out.
Wow, that's a mistake.
And we have to be able as leaders to let the people closest to us, even if they're quote below us in an org, to let the people closest to us to say, hey man, I'm going to check you on that. That's not what we need to be doing. Or what did you mean when you said that? Because it felt like this, right? And it takes a lot of courage for people to do that. But if you give permission in an environment, it takes less courage, and you'll get more of it, and you'll get better faster, and you'll go farther.